Hello my friends, this is the latest update from Ukraine. We're also gonna partially touch the Israeli events in this video, but firstly let's go to the front lines update. This is the south part of Ukraine, as you probably already know, Robotyne and Verbova. So today Ukrainian army got some sort of the success over here. Let's check out the latest update. So it was yesterday and it is today. We have this change. So before Ukraine advanced towards Verbova positions on the south directly to the village, and now the idea is to expand the bridgehead at first and then proceed to the south. Basically it's the same tactics which Ukraine performs also on the western side of this bridgehead. Lately Ukraine was successful reaching Kapany village, but still quite far away from this one. I mean successful because Ukraine entered those gray areas here and over here, so the main idea is to get to Kapany. But generally speaking, Ukraine advances to every direction, to Novoprokopivka, to Verbova also on the south, but this time the main priority is to expand sideways. The general strategy breaking through the Russian defense lines works well, but very slowly. Some of the military analytics say that for now it's impossible for Ukraine to break through the Russian defense to reach the Azov Sea this year. I would agree with that. It looks like unrealistic scenario with all of those defense lines and Russian resources which they sent to this region not long time ago. You see, there's just 1 month left for more or less dry season, so there is nothing more Ukraine may do with the current resources available. We need more military support to advance. Unfortunately, during the last year and the winter campaign, Russia built significant defense lines. Honestly speaking, I underestimated that defense. I expected the same picture as it was for our guys in Kherson region, and was hard at the first time, but later Russia was forced to get out all of the forces. But here Russia stands. But still, for Russia it just can't continue forever because they have significant losses. In this particular place, the losses for Russia is 1, 2, 3. So for each Ukrainian soldier, Russia loses 3. We have the analytics about it. I'll speak about it a little later. According to the ISW resource, Ukraine also advances towards Novoprokopivka. Actually, we had the same update for the deep state military map long time ago. We understand that Ukraine already reached this part of the village. The fighting was ongoing over there, and before I present you some of the drone footages from this area. And here goes the real Russian defense line, so they control everything behind it. And you may call this area as the gray one because there is the fighting ongoing. Actually, there is some fight even behind the front lines with some artillery and drones. But you cannot depict everything of that on this military map, otherwise it would be crowded. My friends, before we continue with some action videos, let me tell you about my long-term partner of the channel and also sponsor of my channel, the Atlas VPN. They have the special deal that is valid just for my followers, where you may get the Atlas VPN Premium just for $170 per month, plus 6 months for free. The Atlas team analyzed all of the other VPN resources and the prices for them, so they came out with a product with the best price-quality ratio. So for sure it is the best offer on the market right now. For me personally, Atlas VPN is the best VPN out there. It has a security breach device monitoring feature, so it alerts me when someone tries to reach my device. Then I use the public Wi-Fi. Then I see that message, I disconnect from that public Wi-Fi. Atlas VPN is very fast. It guarantees you the best streaming connection, then you watch movies on Netflix. And also by changing your virtual location, you may get access to watch all of the movies, all of the series on Netflix platform. It helped me a lot. So my friends, please check out my personal link or scan the QR code available on the screen, where you may get the Atlas VPN Premium for just $170 per month plus 6 months for free. This is outstanding deal which is valid just for my followers. So what are you waiting for? Hurry up to join the club. Alright, now let's go to this particular tank. This is the T-90 Pro Reef Russian tank. Yes, we are unable to see the marking, but it is the Russian one. Russia already admitted it. The video is quite interesting, filmed from the very close perspective. And finally, this tank was kaboomed by the TOW missile. As you can see, it was near to the road at the open field, and this is what happened to it. In a moment, in a millisecond, this tank was scrapped together with the crew. As you can see, turrets separated. It was again the space program of the Russian Federation, launching as many of the turrets as high as possible. Why it happened? Because there is the ammunition over here just near to the crew. Crew didn't feel it. Their bodies just vaporized because of this severe heat and pressure. No biological substance is left in the tank base for sure. Sorry that I speak about those details, but it's just astonishing how in millisecond this tank turned into the scrap metal from this. Plus, for me, it is hard to understand why the ordinary Russian soldiers go and lose their lives. For what? I think that it is better to go to the Russian prison than to be kaputted like this in the tank. It does not apply for the Ukrainian defenders because our guys are securing our country from the intervention. But the Russian soldiers, just why? We have the other video with the same tank but from the long distance perspective. So our drone pilots are filming some sort of the Hollywood movie over there with a couple of the drones. And definitely there is no CGI used. The scene was spectacular. As you can see, the Russian tank was located just on the open field. And judging on this trace on the ground, I may say that it could have been the smart anti-tank mine that Ukraine gets from Germany. Basically, it is mounted a little bit higher than the ground level and may target the enemy tanks with direct launch of missile. Or it could be the TOW missile launched by our soldier. But the result is the same. The tank was kaboomed together with its crew. You know, guys, I think this is the turret itself. So it lifted and turned around. This is the bottom part of it. But saga with this tank continues on the Russian military bloggers, Telegram channels and other media resources like Twitter. They say that it was the Hamas which targeted the Merkava tank. This is not the Merkava tank, this is T-90, but they say meanwhile Hamas is burning the best tanks in the world one by one, and they do this with Ukrainian weapons that Bandera sold to them. Bandera. The other Russian channel says that this is the first confirmed shooting of Merkava in combat by Hamas. Actually, yesterday they targeted one of the Merkava tanks with the help of the drone, the same strategy that Ukraine uses on the front lines, as well as Russia dropping some of the mines from above. But again, this is T-90, it is not Merkava. Moreover, it is the Russian tank. Your tank, Russian military bloggers. It is just crazy how Russian propaganda works nowadays. Very stupid for the very stupid receivers, let's say. And based on their reactions, you may say that they adore this bullshit. Generally speaking, after reviewing the Russian military bloggers channel, they do support Hamas a lot and do not support Israel. Why? Because Russia together with Iran supply weaponry to Hamas and they also train those bastards. By the way, my friends, I also have the Telegram channel. You may check it out in the video description just below, and there I post not just the screenshots but the full videos of the particular event. So if you want to see what really happened to the tank and how it happened, please subscribe for my Telegram. It wasn't the only Russian T-90 tank that they lost today. There is one more T-90 showed on the video by our warriors. Our infantry challenged this tank with something and they were successful. To somehow defend their tanks, Russia started to put the bags full of sand on their vehicles. You may see it everywhere over here on this T-80 tank. Also, I do not understand what is over there. Very strange. Russian army is turning into the Mad Max comedy. However, I guess those sandbags may provide some protection against the FPV drone attacks. But again, it doesn't help. We have the recent update from the Oryx resource. They analyzed the vehicle losses for both of the sides based on the videos and photos coming from the front lines. So the recent losses for the Russian and the Ukrainian army was 53 for Russia and just 9 for Ukraine for the single day. 8th of October 2023. Why it happened like that? Because the Russian convoy of the tanks was ambushed in Luhansk Oblast. That is why you may see severe losses for the Russian tanks over here. Oryx counted 13 of the tanks plus 2 of the unknown tanks. One was destroyed and damaged. So we're speaking about 15 of the tanks. The Ukrainian side says that they eliminate 25 of the enemy vehicles, but they do not specify whether those were all of the tanks or whether there were also infantry armored vehicles. Also, Russia continued to lose lots of the artillery systems, including the Uragan rocket artillery system. It is the biggest rocket artillery system which they have. The counter-artillery radius of Ukraine plus the drone surveillance works great. Also, yesterday Russia lost the unknown fighter jet. I know that fighter jet, it was Sukhoi Su-35. They shot down this jet themselves. And they lost lots of the supply vehicles as usual. And here are the Ukrainian losses. No tanks were lost, but one Bradley, unfortunately, plus the artillery system crab. Totally 9 of the vehicles, so now you see why Russia is unable to hold like that for a very long time. We expect the breakthrough, but probably not this year. It is bad because during the winter campaign, Russia may reinforce its army with new supplies from their allies. If we check out the satellite images coming from the North Korea train cargo hubs, we might see the unprecedented activity in that place. It shows some of the boxes, some of the new cargo located on the cargo platforms. It has never been like that before. Presumably, this is the ammunition that will be sent to the Russian Federation. Also, Russia has the support from Iran. The last month, Russian Defense Minister Shoigu visited Iran and they had a deal in supplying the missiles to the Russian Federation. From my own observation, this world is getting closer to the World War III, actually, the war between democracies and autocracies. On one hand, we have Russia, North Korea, Iran, China probably, and small groups like Hamas and other rebels. You might also put the Syrian Assad regime over here, plus some of the African countries. The counterpart is mainly the United States of America, plus European Union, and some of the countries in Asia like Japan, and also Australia, by the way, and New Zealand. Israel is also the part of this bloc because it's the military ally of the United States of America. We may say that luckily Ukraine joined the side of the democratic countries. We are now developing democracy state. Russia doesn't like it, so they want to drag us back to their Russian peace. I haven't said anything about Belarus because now I see that country as occupied by Russia. So the tensions in the world are escalating. We may see how with this military support Russia actually creates some sort of the military union. That is why the victory in Ukraine is very important. If we let Russia to get the territories of Ukraine, it means that they may expand and take more and more territories even from other countries. Sadly, but now we have the division in the Western democracies, for example in politics inside the United States, and also some of the EU member countries like Hungary and Slovakia almost openly support the Russian policy. Slovakia just recently halted all of the military help for Ukraine, but before they supplied even the fighter jets for us. The Western countries are obviously much stronger compared to autocracies, but what might screw up the situation for our allies and for Ukraine are those politics who provide the national division in their countries and also between the allies. That is what Russia is waiting for. They are waiting for some sort of the big political crisis. Now, unfortunately, we see some of the signs of that. But hopefully our allies will unite in helping Ukraine and also in helping other allies, for example as Israel. Let's speak about it by the way. So here more or less active and current chart for this hour. As you can see, the advancement of the Hamas group wasn't that severe as was shown before. So yesterday they posted the charts like that or something. Also, we may say that there are some of the cities with trapped Hamas forces. So Israeli forces were able to advance and cut them from the Gaza, so they do not have supplies and they will have to surrender to Israel. It has happened over here and over here. And here Hamas probably reached this point with the help of the motorized paragliders or with the help of the cars. So now there is no backup for them, no supplies, nothing. They will be totally kaput by Israeli army. At the same time, we may see that Israel is still unable to deoccupy its territories. But the counterattack of Israeli army continues. today they declared the martial law, so the state of war. They called reservists, the ex-military, to join the army, and there are lots of the volunteers who are willing to do it. After what Hamas done to Israel, I think it's the proper time to react. Unfortunately, as I say to you, Hamas will also bring devastation for Gaza itself, because there is absolutely no chance for Israeli army to get rid of Hamas without civilian casualties in Gaza. It is a very dense populated area. Unfortunately, Hamas took in charge over it. They brainwashed the local people for decades, so the situation is very similar to Russia, I would say. The United States of America will provide the military support for its ally Israel, and also they will send the air carrier group closer to this place. Not that close, I mean, but from the distance where the fighter jets are effective. And this is Kyiv today. Unfortunately, we are unable to share our military support, just the moral one, because we need the weaponry to fight against the Russian aggression. Speaking about the big counterattack, or you may call it the military operation in Gaza, that Israel for sure will perform. According to some of the resources, it might start in the next 48 up to 72 hours, so up to 3 days. Why Israel is not performing the ground operation in Gaza just right now? Because they need the time for the preparation of this operation to avoid heavy losses from their army as well as from the civilians in Gaza. Unfortunately, Hamas will use their citizens and also captured Israeli citizens as the live shields against the airstrikes. Biden orders the additional military support of Israel. According to the Wall Street Journal, Iran helped Hamas to plan the attack on Israel. Also, it supported Hamas with weaponry. Plus, according to unconfirmed for now information, Russia was also involved in training of the Hamas soldiers, if we may call them soldiers, and also equipping them with weaponry. This article doesn't open anything new for me personally, and I think for you as well. We already knew that Iran supports Hamas and Hezbollah movement against Israel. By the way, today Hezbollah launched the rocket attack on the north part of Israel, so they joined this madness. And we have the new satellite images near to the Gaza and Gaza itself. You can see it's a very dense populated area out there compared to Israeli territory nearby. So there are some smoke spots in that area which were caused by the rocket attacks. There was the festival in Israel not far away from the Gaza border. There were lots of the civilians from many of the countries, including the United States, Germany, Norway, Canada. Unfortunately, most of them lost their lives because of the Hamas attack, and many were captured and delivered to Gaza. Egypt officials tried to negotiate with Hamas to release all of the hostages back to Israel, but it wasn't successful. All of those who survived still remain in Gaza. What is happening to them could be just madness, especially to the women. About the Polish-Ukrainian relationship, it improves gradually. Ukraine halted the appeal to the international court because of the grain blockade by Poland. In its turn, Poland says that it will continue to support Ukraine with weaponry. Awesome. By the way, this happened exactly 1 year ago. You see how time flies. Hopefully, Russia finally will lose this connection, which is very important for them. My friends, don't forget to press the like to this video, and also please check out my personal link in the video description just below, where you may find the Atlas VPN Premium with the best deal especially made for my subscribers. So hurry up to join the club. My friends, I wish you all a peaceful sky wherever you are, and have a great time.